وسهلا بكل الذين ينضموا للاستماع إلى راديو بلدي أول راديو عربي أمريكي ويعنى بقضايا العرب في المحور. برامجنا في راديو بلدي كل يوم جمعة من 8 وحتى 9 صباحا مع ليلى الحسيني في بث حي ومباشر وعبر WNZK راديو 690 AM. صباح الخير بلدي، صباح الخير لكل مستمعينا.
Welcome to Radio Baladi, the first Arab, Middle Eastern, and American simulcast radio show. Radio Baladi is broadcast every Friday morning on WNZK 690 AM from 8 until 9 Eastern Time on Good Morning Michigan with Layla Al-Husseini. Our call-in number 248-557-3300. And now, stay tuned for the best radio talk show on Arab and American issues with your host, Layla Al-Husseini.
Today's program is brought to you by Sling TV.
My favorite TV channel has been removed. I was ripped off.
Don't be fooled by unauthorized TV services. You could not only lose your favorite TV channels, but also lose your money. Keep your eyes out and avoid offers that just seem too good to be true. There are numerous companies and TV services that are selling a set-top box or providing a website who claims to have rights to distribute NBC, Al Jazeera, Art, and many other Arabic TV channels.
Then who is legally authorized to provide my favorite TV channels in the U.S.?
Dish Network and Sling International provide your favorite TV channels and programs. For more information, go to www.dishnetwork.com/Arabic or www.sling.com/Arabic and sign up today and watch your favorite TV programs and save money.
Good morning. Thank you for tuning into Radio Baladi, the best ethnic radio station in North America. Today is Friday, August 28th. My name is Khalil Hashim, editor of VMMichigan.com. Glad to be with you this morning. The weather is cool and no rain is expected today. However, this is Michigan and I don't make any bets on it. So today is a special day. We are celebrating 10 years on the air. U.S. Arab Radio is turning 10 years old. And as you well know, U.S. Arab Radio, which started with a simple idea, reaches today several million listeners in 7 states and broadcasts live 24 hours a day online. We have done a great programs and continue to work very hard to do so. The founder of Radio Baladi is Layla Al-Husseini, or Al-Husni, a Syrian-born journalist, and we're proud of her accomplishments and dedication to serving the community. We want to thank you, our listeners, for supporting this radio station, and we are counting on your continuous support. Only together we succeed. We cannot do it alone, and we are working together. Working together, rather, is a must. The number here is 248-557-3300. Please give us a call. Let us know what you like about Radio Baladi. What can we do for U.S. Arab Radio in general, that is, and what is it we can do differently to serve you better. We have on the line one of the people who knows Radio Baladi much better than I do. He is one of the most distinguished Arab American journalists. Ray, good morning.
Hey, Khalil, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
So good to have the tables turned and me be on the show with you. You got a great show. I try to listen to it when I can.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're really honored you're on the line, and Ray is one of the veterans when it comes to journalism, and we're really honored that you're with us. Radio Baladi and Radio U.S. Arab Radio than anybody else. If you'd like to say a few words, we appreciate it.
Well, that's why I'm just calling in for a few minutes to say hello, congratulate you, to congratulate Layla. I know you guys do a great job, especially in the Metro Detroit. And the whole region that the radio show covers. You guys play a really big role, and I think your show is important, and I'm just proud to be able to continue to do my show. I think I'm on next week and the week after. I'm filling in for somebody next week, but I'm on the week after. But I just wanted to, I don't want to take a lot of time, but just to say congratulations to you guys. It's a big deal to have a American Arab radio show. And I wish more people would support it. It's not about us agreeing on things. It's about us coming together and showing other people that what we talk about matters.
Absolutely, absolutely. Please help us tell our listeners a little bit about your background. You have a wonderful background in journalism, and so I know you come on the show and you talk, and people are familiar with your voice, but I don't think they're familiar with your accomplishments and with your great background in journalism.
Well, real quick, most of my cousins and uncles, relatives, they're all doctors or engineers. And when I was growing up, I was going to be a doctor. But I was really moved by all the ugliness that I would see against Arabs, in the media. And I felt that I could see the reason why we were victims of this racism and discrimination, that it had to do with the news media. So I decided I was going to kind of make a sacrifice. Instead of being a wealthy, happy doctor where nobody tells me, I decided to be a journalist.
A poor journalist.
Yeah, no, really. And then, even in the Arab community, they get upset with us, right?
Yes,
because
yes.
they hear us say something, they don't want to listen. It can be difficult. But I worked for the Chicago Sun-Times and the Daily Southtown, and I covered Chicago City Hall.
Yep.
And Mayor Richard J. Daley briefly, and then the other mayors that followed, the 6 other mayors, Bolandic, Jane Byrne, and Harold Washington, who I knew very well. I covered him for the 6 years that he was mayor before he died, and Richard M. Daley, Richard J. Daley's son. So I did that for 20 years, and then after I did that, I launched my own newspapers, the Middle Eastern Voice, the Arab American News, the Arab American View newspaper, and I believe that we need to do more in media, and the Radio Baladi, U.S. Arab Radio, what Layla does is exactly what I think the Arab community needs to do. We need to get involved in journalism and communications, because that's the only way we can protect ourselves from racism, bigotry, and being discriminated against.
Absolutely. I listened to you and you were doing comedy, and that was hilarious. You're a great stand-up comic.
Well, we're victims of our own discrimination. The more people in our community that hate me than Jews, and because I'm Palestinian, and Christian, mainstream Americans. The biggest problem we have are in our own community, the intolerance and the extremists, and I think we don't speak out against them to shut them up and take over the voice. But comedy is a very effective way to connect with Americans, because they don't have a reason to really hate us. They're just afraid. And we need to break that fear, and I think humor does that.
You've been involved with U.S. Arab Radio for a long time, since the beginning. Is that correct?
Yeah. Actually, Layla launched it, and then we connected in Detroit. I didn't even know that she was doing anything in Detroit. And, my family's been going to Detroit since the 1950s. We used to, because I'm in Chicago.
You live in Chicago now, yeah.
Yeah, and always. And we would drive to Detroit to buy food, see our relatives. Detroit is, and Dearborn is the beginning of, the American Arab community. But Layla had launched it, and we connected, I think maybe 7 years ago, maybe even more. It's hard to tell. I'm getting so old. And she suggested that we work together, and I said, I wish more Arabs would say that. Let's network and work together.
Absolutely. This is something very important, working together. And I've always enjoyed your show, and I enjoy reading your online magazine. If you want to remind our listeners of the URL to that, how to get that.
You are a great host, Khalil. It's phenomenal that you let your guests do that. It's the ArabDailyNews.com, and I really appreciate that. Listen, you have a great show. I wanted to just call you and just congratulate you and Layla and the Metro Detroit Arab and Muslim and Christian Arab community, for having you, because really your voice is so needed. So thank you for letting me just...
Absolutely.
We'll talk, hopefully maybe you call in next week and we'll talk about these protests that I think were in Sterling Heights against the mosque. That's a big topic, and I think there are a lot of different aspects about it we need to talk about. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time early in the morning to call us. We appreciate it.
Welcome, sir. We'll talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Do you have a caller? Okay. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Khalil Hashim.
Good morning.
Khalil Hashim,
is this
good
Jerry?
morning. Yes.
Hey, Jerry, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Khalil.
Well, I appreciate you calling us on this special occasion, the 10-year anniversary of U.S. Arab Radio, and I know you're one of our devoted listener and caller, and we want to thank you for participating.
Thank you, Khalil.
Absolutely.
And thank you always for taking my calls, you or Ray Hanania or Miss Layla Al-Husseini, because we, the listeners, we want to be a part of the team. The radio station does not belong to Layla Al-Husseini. It belongs to us, to the people, to the viewer, to the listener. Sure. And Khalil, we do appreciate what Layla Al-Husseini doing, what Ray Hanania doing, what Khalil Hashim doing, and what all the sponsor they are doing, like Miss Jumana Kairouz, or
we appreciate what Adam is doing, keeping us in line.
Adam, I don't have to mention him because Adam, he has a special place in our heart.
Absolutely.
And Adam, he's the recipe, he's the salt and the pepper who they add to the show to make it more tasty and much better.
How about that, Adam?
That's a lot of praise.
Thank you.
Adam, just invite me for dinner and we could call it even.
Sounds good.
No problem.
Khalil,
yes.
I'm very honored to congratulate Layla Al-Husseini and you guys on the Voice Arab of America. And we are very proud to celebrate those 10 years, the 10 candles who they are lit the way to the truth, and to send a true message to all the listeners in America, to Europe, to the Middle East, through the Internet. The 10 years that Layla participated to serve the community, she proved that she is building bridges between our lovely home country, USA, through our homeland country in the Middle East, and to send the true picture with honesty, truly, and to serve the goal of the media. The media always, the true media is the media that do not make any difference if we are black, white, red, yellow, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Mandai, Sabi'i. It's for everybody. And that, I believe, what Layla Al-Husseini doing now, and I do believe that 10 years is not enough. I want Layla to continue to add another 90 years to celebrate 100 years for the Arab Voice of America.
Thank you.
With your effort, guys, you're going to absolutely send the true message to everybody. So congratulations, Ms. Layla Al-Husseini, to Khalil Hashim, to Ray Hanania, and to all the sponsors of this show, because without the sponsor, like all of them, we cannot continue. So you guys have our love with bunch of bouquet of roses and flower and Yasmin.
Thank you, Jerry. We appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless you.
And Adam still owes you a dinner.
Adam, just filet mignon with some hummus
no problems.
and tapuli.
No problems.
I'll take care of you, Jerry. Don't worry about it.
God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And I think the person who really deserves the praise in all of this is Layla, for all the hard work and you know, Layla at the end of the day pays the bills too. So she's the one who has to agonize over, you know, paying the bills and the support and all of these things that we don't want to think about. However, the product and what we put out and what she puts out, you know, I've been involved with the US Arab Radio for 2 years now, but she's been doing it for a lot longer than that. And you know, to start this great organization with a simple idea is really daunting. Is a lot of work, and we want to thank her for all her hard work and dedication for making this radio station successful. The number here is 248-557-3300. Please give us a call. Let us know what you think of U.S. Arab Radio, the programs, and what can we do better. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Are you going to start a restaurant or grocery store soon? Do you need floor plans and designs? Call Naji Abood at 734-744-9796. Do you want to buy kitchen and restaurant equipment at discount prices? Call Naji Abood now, 734-744-9796. New Concept Products and Design, the trademark of kitchen equipment. 5% discount on all purchases of $75,000 or more. New Concept Products and Design, new location, 31185 Schoolcraft in Livonia. Learn more at www.newconceptproducts.com. Call Naji Abood, 734-744-9796.
From their first words to first grade, Dreamy Children's Center will help get your child on the right track. The highly qualified staff works closely with parents to provide an experience that goes beyond early education. We can help nurture important personality traits with the use of educational programs ranging from preschooling for infants to Montessori-approved programs and bilingual curriculums for young children. All meals can be provided, and we can arrange for after-school pickup. Dreamy Children's Center in Dearborn Heights on Warren, in Westland on Ann Arbor Trail, and in Troy on DeQuinder.
أسواق زمزم الواقع على 24065 أورشاد ليك في مدينة فارمington هيلز ترحب بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. تنزيلات كبيرة على عموم المواد الغذائية في يوم الأربعاء من كل أسبوع. لا تنسوا فريش كاري اوت، جميع انواع المعجنات، وايضا صواني الكمبو المشكله والصمون الحار. لحوم حلال الجاليه العربيه والاسلاميه الملحمه باداره قصاب الجاليه المعروف سلوان جربوع. زوروهم على 24065 اورشاد ليك في مدينه فارمington هيلز، او اتصلوا بهم على 248-476-0300. اسواق زمزم للمذاق عنوان لجميع طلباتكم. اتصلوا على 248-476-0300. اسواق زمزم للمعامله الراقية وكرم الضيافة عنوان.
Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in to Radio Baladi. We really appreciate your time, and we appreciate the time you spend with us. Again, today we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of U.S. Arab Radio. It has turned 10 today, and we are really happy to serve you. The number here is 248-557-3300. And I think we have a caller. Is that right, Adam? Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you? This is William Salaita. Hi, Khalil. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Thank you.
Good.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate your calling us. What an honor.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
I appreciate what you are doing, Khalil, and what Layla, my friend, has been doing for a long period of time, and she contributes a great deal to the promotion of ethnic media in general. I was listening to Ray. He's a great media man in our community.
Absolutely.
He's well-versed about the entire community as well as the mainstream, and this is a great accomplishment. I mean, Arab American media is a different story. There are so many programs in our community that need to be thoroughly discussed, and I mean, ethnic media in general is good, but it's not to there's different views and different perspective about media in general, but I know that you are doing a good job, and Layla is doing a great job.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your calling us today and being on the show. It's an honor to have you on the show as well. And I understand you started your own segment as well on US Arab. You want to tell listeners a little bit about that?
About what? I'm sorry.
Your segment. You have your own program on the on.
Oh, I had a program before. I am by profession. I am a social worker.
Okay.
I am certified social worker in Michigan. I have a master's degree in social work, and I am licensed in Michigan. But I have passion for media.
Wonderful.
From maybe the early 1990s, I got very much involved in ethnic media,
and work at several media outlets. I don't know if you were here when the so-called ANA, Arab Network of America.
No, I was not. I was in Florida at the time.
Okay. It was, I think, sponsored by Saudi businessman named Muhammad Badrawi. They had a great program, real media at that time, from the early 1990s, I believe, up until the year 2000, when the radio and TV was, for some reason, dismantled, maybe for political reason, as you know.
And now then, you have a program on US Arab Radio, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I had a program called Bridge of Knowledge, and I left it when I left the Arab American and Chaldean Council back in the beginning of last year, in the year 2014. So no, I don't. But I'm planning to come back to WNZK hopefully very soon.
Inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate your calling, and we appreciate your support.
Congratulations again, and thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Again, US Arab Radio offers incredible programs to reach the listeners in the area, and not only Arab American listeners, but many listeners of all different backgrounds and in this beautiful country. The issue that we cover and we try to cover, a very important issue. This is an issue that touches your own daily life, such as immigration, such as legal, health, politics. And politics, we're talking about what affects you, whether it is local, in Lansing, in Washington, and the Arab American affairs and the Arab affairs, what's going on in the Middle East, and the refugees, all of it. And I understand sometimes that some of you may not like a certain issue or may not like certain commentator, but this is how the conversation starts. This is when there's something on the air and you don't like, and that gives you the idea of or the chance to express your opinion. Today, journalism has changed. It's no longer us talking to you. It's all of us talking to each other, talking together. And I think it's today journalism is better than before because it gives you more voice as a listener. And we want to hear from you, and we want to know exactly to know how we're doing and what it is that we can be doing better, because we want to serve you. And if we're not serving you the way it needs to be served, we would like you to let us know. This is something very, very important. When it comes to ethnic communities such as Arab Americans and Muslim Americans and people from the Middle East, I think this would be a better umbrella to really include everyone. The mediums like US Arab Radio gives the community a great voice that's well needed. We've always complained about mainstream media not giving us the attention that we deserve. And that's why Layla wanted to start this radio. There are other people who print newspapers and magazines and online, but the radio is still a very important medium, and this is what Layla had in mind. And this is Layla puts a lot of sacrifices to keep this radio station on the air. So your support is important. And then now you're going to say to me, what do you mean support, and how can we support US Arab Radio? First, you listen to US Arab Radio. Second, you get involved. If there is a program, you call, you get involved. And this is something very important because it shows that there is an interaction. After that, there's the financial support, because everything costs money. And the financial support, it doesn't really take a lot of businesses to buy. I mean, we don't want to ask for donations, and we're not here to ask for donations, but we ask for support in a way, advertisement, because advertisement is business cost, and businesses get that money back from when they file for taxes, because it's business cost, and it is pass-through money, and we need all to do our part and support each other. And this is how we support each other. Businesses can buy advertisement from US Arab Radio and the other medias that they support, and that provides the means to put out good programs and then we gave these businesses the what's the word I'm looking for? The necessary advertisement for their businesses in the community, so people know who they are and everybody would know everybody. Support is very important. Working together is very important, and I hope that more and more even media outlets in the community would work together on to do that. We're here, and we're here to listen to you. We're here to serve you. Even if you don't like what we do, we can always talk about it in a very professional and in a very civilized manner and a very civilized way. So it is working together. And what US Arab Radio is doing today is tonight at 6 o'clock there's a celebration, and that includes remarks from the people who started this program, which is Layla. There's a presentation on on the history of US Arab Radio, the accomplishments, keynote speakers by Dr. Sahar Khamis. Dr. Khamis is a journalism professor and a well-known person in the country, and there are different presentations. And then we're going to be giving out also the Ramadan awards and prizes that we've been talking about for some time. So this is not a small thing that we've accomplished here, and Layla has accomplished here. And I continue bringing Layla's name because she's the one who started this. She's the one who reaches out to everyone. She's the one who stays on the phone trying to, get the guests and get the support and the sleepless nights of how to pay for this and how to pay for that and who's coming in and who's going out and she's the one who really does most of the hard work, and we want to salute her. And we appreciate everything she does, and this is why we wanted all to come together to really make US Arab Radio successful. Again, the number here is 248-557-3300. We want to thank those who really called in this morning to share this joyous news with us. There are a lot of plans for US Arab Radio, and one of them is establishing a radio station 24-hour a day in cooperation with other networks, of course, with your support. And, there are 3.5 or 4 million Arab Americans in the United States. And if each one really buys a membership of $10 a year, I think that would really be more than enough to keep the voices of the community on the air. Do we have a caller, Adam? Okay. And providing one of the programs we're working on here also is providing training programs for our youth in the community, providing programs for other journalists to work together, journalists from the Arab world, providing that connection. One of our presentations today talks about how can we maintain the connection between the community here, and the land of origin, regardless of where we're from, whether from Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, Egypt, any other places. We're all one community. We're all from the Middle East, and we're all one community here. We face the same challenges, but at the same time, how can we keep our children how can we keep our children connected to the motherland? How can we keep our children knowing their heritage and being proud of their heritage? It's not just about the land and the sand and the rocks and the mountains. It's about their heritage. It's about our history and how we can be really proud of it. This is what's really great about America, is we can be Americans and we can also be proud of our heritage, no matter what our heritage is. Please stay tuned. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.
Waintree Manor. صالات جميلة لمناسباتكم السعيدة. ترحب بالجالية العربية والكلدانية أجمل القاعات لمناسباتكم السعيدة من حفلات ومؤتمرات. تتسع القاعات لأكثر من 1000 شخص. خدمة راقية، أسعار مناسبة. تذوقوا ألذ الأطعمة الشرقية والغربية وبأسعار خاصة ومناسبة لجميع المناسبات. تقع القاعة على 35100 فان بون رود في مدينة وين. للحجز اتصلوا بهم على 734-728-3020 734-728-3020. وين تري مانر للضيافة عنوان. قشات ميديترينيان ماركت بإدارة فهر قشات وأولاده يرحبون بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. جميع أنواع المواد الغذائية، البان طازجة، الكرزات والبهارات الطازجة. داخل الأسواق مطعم ميديترينيان شيش كباب يقدم يوميا جميع أنواع الكباب، المقبلات العربية العراقية وصواني الكامبو المميزة. تفتح الأسواق من 8 إلى 9 مساء من الاثنين وحتى السبت، ومن 8 صباحا إلى 9 مساء يوم الأحد. تقع الأسواق على 32839 نورث ويسترن هايوي في مدينة فارمينغتون هيلز. لحوم حلال للجالية الإسلامية. لطلباتكم من المطعم كول 248-538-7855. that is 248-538-7855. قشات ميديترينيان ماركت، خدمة متميزة ومعاملة راقية.
استوديو زرياب بإدارة حسن حامد في ستورمي هايتس يحييكم ويقدم لكم خدماته بالصوت والصورة، تسجيل، تصوير، مونتاج، فيديو كليب، اعلانات، كوميرشالز، دوكيومنتري، افلام وثائقية للترويج لبضائعكم ومحلاتكم وشركاتكم، برامج تلفزيونية وإذاعية. استوديو زرياب وبتقنية عالية بإدارة حسن حامد 313-945-8860 313-945-8860 أو 248-761-5787. استوديو زرياب، الصوت والصورة اختصاصنا.
Welcome back, and we appreciate you tuning in to US Arab Radio, Radio Baladi. This is Khalil Hashim with you again. We're celebrating 10 years on the air today, and before we went to the break, we were talking about some of the plans that US Arab Radio is working on. And one of them is the cultural mitigation. You know, we're trying to merge in different cultures and in this great country, and sometimes when we're talking about America and other countries, you know, there's a misconstrued conception of what America is. America is a beautiful country, and we want to reflect that image as well. So reflecting both images here and abroad about the U.S. and about the Middle East is very important in mitigating the cultural differences. One of the programs we do is the sponsorships, and these are businesses in the community that have contributed quite a bit to the success of US Arab Radio. And we have Rama on the line. Good morning, Rama.
Morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. And briefly before we ask you about what's going on with back to school, we want to get a quick comment from you about US Arab Radio.
Of course, I just want to say congratulations on 10 years.
Thank you.
Everything you guys are doing here is so very important to our community. It's so important to other communities as well that, like you said, may have a misrepresentation of the Arab world. And I just think that what you guys are doing here is so important in kind of telling the world, telling other communities, you know, what we're really all about.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what's new with back to school?
So we have a lot of new things coming for the fall. We've been working really hard throughout the summer to get all these classrooms ready. As you know, we just opened our Westland location.
Yes.
So we've been working on that as well.
And for our listeners who know what we're talking about, just tell us what is your title and with the Dreamy Children's Center. And just very quick introduction to the center.
As quick as I can do it, my family and I own 3 early childhood centers in Wayne and Oakland County. We provide services from infants all the way up until kindergarten. Our main focus, of course, is safety, it's education. Something that we really focus on as well is just the meals, and that's something that I know a lot of parents love about our center, especially around this time when it's back to school.
Sure.
So that's just, I feel like that's one of the main components that makes our center special, is just having the parents not worry about their kids having breakfast before they leave, not having to worry about packing a lunch, not having to worry about snacks. That's something that we all take care of.
Wonderful. So what do parents need to know, for back to school? I think school starts in 2 weeks. Is that correct?
School starts on the 8th, yep, after Labor Day.
Wonderful. So what do they need to know?
What you need to know is that our centers are enrolling. You need to make sure that your child is ready for the upcoming school year, that they're enrolled, whether it's at our center or another center. Early childhood education is so important, and it's just very crucial to kids to be in a learning environment before they actually get to school, whether that's a public or private school. Just that socialization, being in an environment where learning is a priority, it's just very important to kids at this age.
Wonderful. And, those who are either enrolled with you or everybody else, they just need to get the list for the supplies and things like that, and, make sure.
Some centers do give a supply list. At our center, we do not. That's something that we take care of as well. We know that parents, with their school-age children have a hard time kind of getting all that stuff together. So with our center, we always provide the materials. We don't ask parents to buy supplies. But some really easy stuff to buy for kids. It's just crayons. Those are some things that you should have at home for them. Sure. Crayons, pencils, paper, scissors. Just give them that freedom to explore, to be creative. That's something that's very important in the young, early years.
Wonderful, wonderful. And, I want to ask you one more time, that relationship between your organization and U.S. Arab Radio. Mm-hmm. If there's one thing you can improve, what would that be?
I think we should just be even more involved in the community. Mm-hmm. My organization, as well as U.S. Arab Radio, we should just be more involved with small businesses, with organizations that are just very involved with the youth. I think the youth, of course, they're the future. So I think focusing more on the youth, having more programs for young children is just very important. I know you were talking earlier about multiculturalism.
Sure.
And that's something that's very important to our center as well.
Absolutely.
Every year, around mid-year, we have a multicultural fest where every child is able to bring something in from their home that represents their culture, whether that's Arab or not.
Sure,
and it's just having kids be exposed to that, and that one time a year, and also on a daily basis. And that's, representation in books, representation in the toys in the classroom. That's something that's very important to our center.
Absolutely. I attended the opening for the one in I think in Westland, the recent one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really impressed with the vision, your organization, that what you provide for the community, because it's so important. I mean, our kids are born here, and they're Americans, and we're proud of our country. At the same time, we want to preserve some of our heritage, and you guys do a wonderful job in providing, whether it is learning Arabic or other aspects of the culture, and preserving that is so important, and teaching that to our children when they're young, and then making them be proud of that while being proud being Americans is really an incredible work, and we want to thank you for doing that.
Of course,
and we want to thank you for your
this is our responsibility.
Yeah, and we want to thank you for your continuous support. And we hope to do more together, between U.S. Arab Radio and your organization. We thank you so. Anything else before we conclude this?
No, I just want to thank you guys for everything that you do. Like I said, your role is very important in this time with bringing together everybody, Arab or non-Arab.
Wonderful.
I just want to thank you guys again and congratulate you on 10 years, hopefully many more years to come.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you calling in today. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Bye now. Again, I just want to mention one more thing to you. I've been a journalist for more than 19 years now. I've worked for 3 mainstream newspapers in Florida, Texas, and at the Ann Arbor News for 10 years before the Ann Arbor News closed. Journalism is a great venue for our community to do a lot of things. And if some of you, it takes education to really understand how the business works. It takes cooperation for us to work with our youth, to train them on to be either become a journalist or to be effective in the journalism arena. And I'll be more than happy if anybody has any questions. Give us a call. Myself, Layla, Ray, all the people who have had the experience in journalism in the U.S. and the community here as well. And we want to thank everyone and recognize everyone who is really working hard, whether it is a newspaper, whether it is a magazine, whether it is an online, whether it is radio. All of them are doing really wonderful work, and all of them are struggling to keep it going. So we want to thank them all, and we hope that we all work together to do that. We're going to continue with the information about this celebration as we await Dr. Suwan. Dr. Suwan is going to be talking about different topics in regard to medical issues. This is really one of the examples that we try to address as many issues as possible that are important to you. Dr. Suwan has done a wonderful job whether it is talking about healthy living, simple living, talking about how we can take care of our bodies, our mental aspects, how we can look better, and she's really done a great job, and she's going to be with us shortly talking about that. At the same time, support is very important, and I'm not only talking about money. I'm talking about working together. We can disagree, but we can also disagree respectively and work together for one common goal. Sometimes when I meet someone in the community, the first thing they want to know is, where are you from? They want to know whether my background is Lebanese, Palestinians, and Syrians. I think we need to get over that. We need to really get to a point to say, thank you, I appreciate, I'm glad to know you. What do we have in common? And how can we work together to really to benefit our community, to benefit our causes? Whether you like it or not, it is a cause. America is a beautiful country and gives us the chance to work within this system to really get the protection we need, to get the representations we deserve. And there is a curve here, a learning curve here, because, we come from countries where freedom of speech doesn't exist. We come from countries where the system doesn't work. Like, it's not a representative system. In most of the Middle Eastern countries are about serving the bosses and not the masses. So this is different. We live in a country, it's a representative system, and it's, we can make a difference here if we choose to. It's up to us whether we want to work for it or not. And media is one of the best venues to do that. Do we have somebody on the line? Dr. Suwan. Good morning, Dr. Suwan. Good morning, Dr. Suwan.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We were just talking earlier about your contribution to the success of U.S. Arab Radio, some of the wonderful things that you share with us, whether it is medical or, you're persistent on making us look good, and also, all your contributions to our listeners. We want to thank you for that. And, as you well know, today we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary for being on the air, and we want to take this time to thank you for being part of that, this successful this successful event.
Thanks so much, Khalil, for having me, and congratulations.
Absolutely, thank you so much. So what are you going to be talking about today?
It's a very important subject. As a matter of fact, my daughter was involved in a crash accident while going back from work, and she's a resident at the University of Chicago, and as a matter of fact, she dozed off while driving.
Yeah.
So basically she slept while driving, and this is because of drowsy driving and lack of sleep and sleep deprivation, and that's why I decided, to talk about it, because I think that this is like a very important subject, and so many people could be involved, and like millions of dollars could be spent, and lives also could be lost. So,
why do we do that? Why do we do that? I mean, we're all sane people, but yet we do it. Why do we do that?
Okay, I will tell you something. I mean, driving under the effect of sleep deprivation and fatigue could be related to long working hours, which we have nothing to do with. I mean, like healthcare workers and shift workers, and also commercial drivers, they have to do it. There is no way out of it. I mean, when I was a resident, I was working sometimes like, 16 or 17 hours, and then I have to drive home, and, I have like, to do also, like all of my, chores and stuff like that, and then study, and there was no time for sleep. So, it's not something that we choose to do. I would say that, healthcare workers, there is no way that they can, get out of it. Especially, like graduate students, postgraduate students, residents, all residency programs, although they have better guidelines right now, but still I would say that medical residents are sleep deprived. This is something that, if work is the reason, but also there are other causes of sleep deprivation, like, for example, parents of newly born. And what if, they are parents of newly born and they are residents as well? That was the case, with me, when I was a resident, I was having, my baby as well. So, stuff like that, it's basically beyond your will. Also, when people are having, pets in the bed and, they are not able to sleep because they are moving all of the time, or people who are having, problems, with health, I would say something like gastroesophageal reflux disease, which is the GERD, or, any kind of pain like acute or chronic pain. Also, some people are taking, lots of vitamins and supplements and, caffeine before sleep. This will impair their sleep. And, one of the most important causes of lack of sleep could be undiagnosed or untreated sleep disorder, like obstructive sleep apnea, when patients are having, interruption of breathing, and they will have, they will be frequently waking up during sleep, and the quality of sleep will be very poor.
Sounds good.
So these are some of the causes that may cause, lack of sleep.
Lack of sleep. Before we get into the other part, we are just going to take a short break, and I wanted to start you early today, so we make sure you get your segment, but also we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Please
sure.
Okay.
Jumana K-Ruse. You've seen her images on giant billboards across the metro. Jumana K-Ruse. You've seen her images on buses across the city. Now get to know Jumana K-Ruse.
Most people who sit in my office across from my desk are hurting on so many levels. One thing people do not know about medical malpractice is that the statute of limitation, meaning the time that you have to bring suit against a doctor, a hospital, is 2 years. In medical malpractice, that's a very, very short period of time. Not every lawyer is an advocate, but every lawyer should be an advocate.
Let Jumana K-Ruse protect your rights. Call the law offices of Jumana K-Ruse at 1-866-YOUR-RIGHTS, extension 100, or visit yourrights.com.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Fook, Rico Picon, Donna, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
Life for Relief and Development is a nonprofit charity that has been providing humanitarian aid and development to people and communities regardless of race, color, religion, or cultural background for over 22 years. When disaster occurs here or around the world, Life rushes to provide food, medical aid, and shelter to those in need. Life also has development projects that provide medical relief, water purification, educational programs, relief for orphans, and much more. Your help and support can greatly improve these efforts. All donations are tax deductible. Please visit our website at lifeusa.org or call 248-424-7493. That's lifeusa.org, 248-424-7493.
Welcome back. We're talking to Dr. Sawan, and she's talking about driving while you're sleepy and the causes and what we can do to change that. Before we went on the break, Dr. Sawan, you were mentioning some of the causes to what would make people really do that, and we're all guilty of that. We may deny it, but we're all guilty of that. But what can we do to avoid that?
There are so many things that we can do to avoid it. I would say, first of all, there should be some type of guidelines, like for shift workers and residents and, like commercial drivers. And at the same time, we should know that we should at least have at least like 6 hours of, of sleep or more. As a matter of fact, 8 hours will be better. And, we should make sure that the quality of sleep, that we are having is okay. So there isn't like, undiagnosed or untreated sleep disorder. We shouldn't be driving, when we are sleepy. We should just like, take a nap or stop or, maybe, drink some coffee. We should do something about it because, the impact of drowsy sleeping, is so terrible. And, we just stop driving, or maybe we can use a service. Yeah. I mean, we can have a companion. There are so many things that we can do, and we should make sure that we are not taking, medications that would make us drowsy. Yeah. What I would like to tell you, Khalil, that, we are getting, our information, from the National Sleep Foundation. According to the National Sleep Foundation, Sleep in America poll, 60% of Americans have driven while feeling sleepy.
Yeah.
This is this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And 37% admit falling asleep at the wheel. This is so scary. And what's happening that if they feel sleepy, they will say, "Oh, I will be able to make it." So what we can do, we should actually admit and acknowledge the problem and identify that we cannot do it while we are sleepy. This is extremely important because according to the same study, 11 million drivers, 4%, I would say 4% of the people who participated, which means, about 11 million drivers admit they have accidents or near accident because they dozed off while driving. This is, a very, very serious situation.
Yeah, the problem is not a lot of people admit it. I mean, I can tell you several times that I was driving and I wanted to be stubborn and drive longer and longer and longer, and the ridged area on the road, when you veer off and then you start making that noise, boop, 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 and this is why I'm trying to kind of warn you're off the road. And that happened to me a couple of times, and then then my wife said to me, well, maybe you should just stop and call it a night tonight because you're really getting tired. And I'm glad I did that, because there's no reason to be stubborn about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is no reason because, the life of the individual is at risk, and others as well.
Others as well, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
There are billions of monetary losses happened, and I would say multi-millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
Were spent, where this amount of money, it has been rewarded to families of crash victims, from individuals or businesses who are involved in drowsy driving. Drowsy driving really is not a joke. It is a very, very, very serious situation because,
it is, yeah.
We are talking here about lives, and I would say that lives are more important than money. It's very important for people to know that they have to know their capabilities. If they are sleepy, they should either, like for medical residents, as I told my daughter, just sleep in the hospital.
Yeah.
Find like an encore room and sleep in it.
A lot of people think that this is a problem associated with older people. It's not. If you look at the statistics for the victims, most of them are young people.
Most of them are even under 25
Absolutely,
years of age.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember I was driving from Boston to Michigan, and my head was really getting heavy, and I just couldn't keep my eyes open. I just pulled over at a rest stop and took a 2-hour nap, and then I was fine. So I'm not going to tell you about the stories when I didn't do that and what happened.
No, you have to do it because it's very serious.
It is serious because one time I found myself right in the median. It's like, oh my God, what happened? You're driving 60, 70 miles an hour, and you're right in the median right there. Because I know what happened, I just dozed off.
And think about it. The reason for that when you are sleep deprived, there is, like decreased attention, decreased alertness, and there is a slowed reaction time.
Yeah.
This is the most important thing that will let people, be involved in car accidents. And also, being awake for 18 hours would equal to blood alcohol concentration of 0.08%, which is considered legally drunk.
Absolutely.
So basically, people who are sleep deprived, they are left with the same risk like drunk drivers. So this is extremely important, and we have to know that it's not that, I'm not drinking alcohol, so I am safe.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, when you are driving while you are drowsy, you are not safe.
No. And others are not safe either.
Others are not safe. And the problem that there is no specific test to determine sleepiness. I mean, even if there is a crash, like people who are drunk, it's easy, to find out that they
in their
were
blood.
drunk.
Yeah.
It's through specific tests, but there is no specific test for drowsiness. So it is extremely important for people, to care for themselves and to care for others, as well. We are talking about thousands of deaths and injuries that are related to sleepy people who are driving while they are sleepy and while they are fatigued.
Yeah, because what the traffic situations tell us that he lost control and she lost control and they caused an accident, but nobody will tell us, the response was not really good enough because they didn't get enough sleep, because there's no way to measure them.
There is no way, but I think that there are warning signs that the person should know.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you are having difficulty focusing, if you are frequently blinking, if your eyelids are heavy, if you start daydreaming and having disorientation or distraction, if you are yawning, if the individual cannot keep his head up, or if he's drifting from the lane. I mean, if you are doing, one of those, you have just to stop.
Absolutely. And in the last minute, we have, we just want to wrap it up. What the solution be? What should people know?
I think that people should take care of themselves. They should know. Nobody is going to tell you that you are sleepy and you shouldn't drive.
Absolutely.
You are the person who should tell yourself, and that's what I told my daughter. If you are sleep deprived and that's what happened with you, I mean, don't
pull
wait.
over and get some rest.
do not wait until it happens.
Exactly.
Do not wait. You have to take preventive measures, as we talked about.
Absolutely. We really want to thank you so much for being with us today, Dr. Sawan, and you're one of the the people that we work with and organizations that we work with. You contribute so much to our success, and your contribution and your knowledge. We appreciate it. We want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Khalil.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
No problems, and have a wonderful weekend.
Yes.
And to everybody, we just want to say thank you so much for your support as we celebrate our 10-year anniversary, and we're going to count on your support, and please let us know what we can do better. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful weekend.